Good evening and welcome to Greg Mitchell Field on the campus of Missouri Valley College. Doubleheader soccer tonight. And in the first game, it is the senior night game for the Vikings. The men will play Lindenwood a little bit later on for their senior night action. But the Vikings take on the Baker Wildcats tonight. And this is a big match for Valley. A win tonight by Missouri Valley women, and they would clinch at least a second-place tie in the Heart of America Conference, and that could assure them of a home field first-round game match in the Heart of America Conference tournament. So, big match coming up tonight for the Valley women. Baker in town, they're wearing their all orange, and I'll tell you, just before game time, the wind picked up, the rain came, and it is not a real pleasant night. As we get ready to start, we'll try to go with the window open at least for a little while this evening. Get a little feel of the action tonight as the Baker Wildcats are in town to take on the Missouri Valley College Vikings. Thanks for being with us on livestream.com as we bring you tonight's action. It is senior night, and here are the seniors for Valley. Erica Diarte is a goalkeeper out of Stockton, California, criminal justice major. Kelsey Heeb, a defender, and she is a nursing major. Colleen Hussman, midfielder from St. Charles, a psychology major. Cecily Kidd, a forward out of Fairfield, California, criminal justice major. Breanne Kenworthy, a forward out of St. Charles. She is a nursing student. And Miranda Ott, a midfielder from DeSoto, Missouri, a middle school education major, minor in early childhood. So those are the seniors. We're going to be without Haley Ennis tonight. She suffered that knee injury. And also, Breanne Kenworthy, with her injury, will not play tonight. So that's what we have as Baker and the Vikings ready to go at it in first of two games that we'll have for you tonight on Stretch Internet. It is windy. We've had some rain showers off and on throughout the evening as we get ready for soccer tonight. Not hard to distinguish these two clubs. Baker in the bright orange. Orange and black are the colors of the Baker Wildcats, and they're in a bright orange uniform, both jerseys and shorts with black numerals. The Vikings in their white with the purple numerals and the orange trim. And we're about ready to go. James O'Sullivan alongside. Tyrone Ritter is going to direct the live stream, and we waited till the last couple of minutes. They had to change camera position because of the rain, but I think we have a two-camera setup. Alex Messi running one of the cameras, and who's running the other? Philip Fowler.
Philip Fowler's running.
Just out of football practice. Runs over to do a camera here in game one on the live stream. Fellas, it seems like it was about three minutes ago we were all together. Oh, that was Saturday when we were here for about 11 hours. All right, we're ready for soccer tonight. First of two, again, a win by the Vikings, and they would clinch a tie, at least a tie, for second in the Heart of America Conference. Vikings in white. The Wildcats come in with a record of 5-5-6, 1-2-2 overall. And we are underway. Garcia has it for Valley. I'll give you those starting lineups as we go along here in the first few minutes of action as well. For the Vikings, 30 goals, and they have 20 assists on the year. Their opponents have scored 20 goals and given up 11. On the women's side, gave you that record for the Baker Wildcats. And again, if Valley wins this match tonight, they would pretty much secure second place. And boy, that'd be something for this team, James, to the way they've come along in the last few years and get themselves a home field in the playoffs. And that's what would happen as Valley comes into this match. They are 3-1-1. Avila leading the way 4-0-1.
Yeah, I believe when we were talking to Coach Hawkins, he said there's still an outside chance of at least sharing the conference title, and that will be a huge thing also. Yeah,
Avila 4-0-1, and they will play tomorrow at Mid-America Nazarene. Mid-America 2-1-2. The only other game tonight, Graceland's at Benedictine. Graceland is 0-2-3, and Benedictine 3-2. And then tomorrow night, Avila will be at Mid-America Nazarene, and Culver will be at CMU. We have a corner kick coming up here for the Wildcats. Yeah, early on in the match, and it's headed away by the Vikings. We'll go back out, and it'll still be possession for another corner kick coming up for the Wildcats. We're just underway. And that is Shelby Schiraldi with the corner kick. And it's headed in. Wow, early in the match. Baker comes away with a corner kick, and they get a goal out of it. And we'll check and see who that was for Valley with the goal. I believe it is, still can't check a number there. I'll have to check, but I think it was number 11. I think it was Alexa Fryer. We'll go check, but I believe it was Fryer. Wow. Off the corner kick, 2 minutes in, and it's headed in. I think it was Fryer. We're going to check on that. Well, the Vikings on senior night down early, 1-0. They haven't even given you a chance to give you the starting lineups yet. Garcia with it, but Baker taking advantage of a corner kick and headed it in. It was either Betch or Fryer. Couldn't tell. We'll try to find out for you. Here's Garcia for the Vikings, down 1-0 early. They'll send it deep on the right side. Well, that'll give Baker a little bit of confidence early on in this match. Tried to get it into Lafuentes. We find out who scored that goal.
It was number 10, actually.
Number 10, okay,
Hooper.
Krista Hooper. All right, there were 3 gals there, so we'll give it to Hooper. So Krista Hooper out of Edmonton, Canada, one of the 2 gals from Edmonton on this club, with the goal. Wow, it came less than 2 minutes into the match, so now Drew Hawkins' team will have to fight back.
Yeah, and right before that, they had a couple other corners because they just missed on a few other shots. That Baker came out really playing hard and winning that early lead.
Here's a corner kick for the Vikings. It's knocked away. And this one's going to be run down by Madison Dean. Dean gets it off to Lafuentes. Good footwork. Off to Pizzini. Now they'll send it in. And send out, but the Vikings keep it in. Clammers had a shot at it. Gives it off to Pizzini. Pizzini back to Garcia. Now off to Martin. They'll send one in off the foot of Riley Kerr, but that's handled in goal by Rachel Theobald out of Overland Park, Kansas, and Rachel will hang on to it. So here's the lineup. Finally get to that. Rachel Theobald in goalie for the Wildcats. Shelby Schiraldi, who had the corner kick to set up that first goal. Ashley Mock, Amber Pickering, Bailey Souza, Krista Hooper, who had the goal, Alexa Fryer, Taylor Baum, Leslie Johnson, Gabrielle Betch, and Keely Adkin, the starting lineup for the visiting Wildcats. For Valley, Irana Sanchez is in goal, young lady out of Spain. Riley Kerr, we mentioned her name, and now here come the Vikings as they get it back to Sanchez, as Plowman was one-on-one with one of the Wildcats, able to get it back to her. Madison Dean, Kelsey Heeb, Liz Pizzani, Michelle Plowman, we just mentioned her, Andrea Garcia, Danielle Panuna, Beline Lafuentes, Lucia Martin, and Kendra Clammers, the starting lineup for Drew Hawkins. Well, James, all of a sudden, you stick with your game plan, but it changes a little bit. You're down 1-0 in the first 2 minutes.
It is, and it's really been the first time that we've been calling a game that the Vikings have fallen behind early on. Be interesting to see how they come back from that.
Yeah, they won 1-0 the other night when we called it, got a first half goal, and that was it. So we'll see what happens here. As far as the Lady Wildcats are concerned, I mentioned they come in. They've had several ties this year. Try to give you their record. They come in with a record, as I mentioned, of 1-2-2 in the conference, 5-5-6. 6 ties on the year. And they're coached by Nick Hauser. He coaches both the men and women's teams.
Yeah, and Baker's 0-2-3 in the last 5, so 3 of those ties have come fairly recently.
Boy, A lot of ties. All right, 1-0 Baker, as you're watching on livestream.com. Clammers gives it off to Martine. Martine right at midfield, back to Clammers, and now we'll lose possession of it. Now it's going to be handled by one of the Vikings, Panuna. But Baker with a 1-0 lead. And we are at the 38-minute mark of the first half. Skies are clearing off now. Boy, just before this game started, had a little rain shower move through, and the wind really picked up. The wind dying down a little bit now as we play here in the first half. Vikings win tonight. They would pretty much assure a tie second, but they're going to have to work at it because they're down a goal. Now Riley Kerr is fouled, so the Vikings will get possession. That foul was called on Amber Pickering, young lady out of the state of Oklahoma. As Kendra Clammers will send it in. First goal scored less than 2 minutes into the action by Krista Hooper, who's a forward on this squad. Baker controlling. Panuna missed on it. Now she'll have to send it out as the Wildcats will have possession. The Wildcats have scored 19 goals this year, given up 11. Or rather, 19 goals and 11 assists. They've given up 18 goals and 12 assists. And for Hooper, that was her 7th goal, so she is the leading goal scorer. She has 7 now. Alexa Fryer has 4. Just underway. What a quick goal by Baker to lead 1-0 here on livestream.com. 36 minutes remaining in the first half. Fight for possession in the corner. And Baker will come away with it. Now they send it out, and the Vikings will set it up. That's Dean. Tries to get it into the middle to Pazina. Vikings still with control. Good job by Panuna. Sends it over to the right side. Now to Garcia, and she was offside. 36 minutes to go in the first half. We'll have both matches for you tonight on the live stream. And then the Wildcats of Baker will be here for football on Saturday. We'll have that on live stream as well. Garcia fights for possession. Talked to Mike Grossner today, the head coach of the Wildcats in his 10th year. Clammers tries to get it to Hebe, but the Baker defense is there. They'll send it up to midfield now. Hebe tries to take it away. But the Wildcats keep possession. Pickering. They'll send it up the right side, trying to get it to Gabrielle Betch out of Overland Park. But it goes all the way to Sanchez. Fights certainly have taken effect. Vikings trailing 1-0. They need some offense here. Clammers almost has it taken away. She battles with Ashley Mock for possession. Vikings send it up the right side, now back to the middle. With control. Tried to get it to Garcia. She couldn't come up with a pass. Now Martine sends it in high into that wind. You get it up in that wind, it's not going to go anywhere tonight, is it?
No. With football practice, practicing when we were setting up, we saw them practicing kickoffs, and that ball was really going nowhere.
Clammers double team, loses possession of it. Wildcats, here's Mock. Back to mid-court, or midfield. Now possession going to belong to the Wildcats. 34 minutes remaining in the first half. Shelby Giraldi will send it in play. And she fires it in. It's headed away. Ball up and still right in the middle of the field. The Vikings haven't cleared it yet. Now they do. Give it off to Pizzini. Pizzini on the far side trying to go to La Fuentes and knocked it out. So now the Vikings again will send it out on the far side. Very windy, and by the time the men's game is over tonight, it could be down in the 20s tonight.
So I'll do your guys' own finish.
People may be paying me money to use my little space heater before the night's over. All right, we play on. 33 minutes to go in the first half. It is 1-0 Baker. They scored in the first 2 minutes. We weren't even settled in yet with that first goal. There's Sanchez. You're not going to send them, when you're on the south end of this field kicking north, you're not going to send them very far tonight. I think the first live stream we had this year was about 110 degrees in this booth. And tonight it's going to be about 30.
Yeah, if this wind keeps up like it probably will all night, it's
be
a advantage for the Vikings going towards the south in the
second half. You're exactly right. Exactly right. That'll be big. All the streamers, they have some orange and purple streamers tied around some of the railings in the bleachers in honor of the gals on senior night, and some of them have already blown off, and those that haven't are certainly indicating a pretty strong breeze out of the northwest.
Yeah, you could also look at the top of the uprights of the football uprights, see those flags going straight back.
1-0. Corner kick coming for the Vikings. And that'll be Garcia. Garcia will send it in. Vikings send it just high and left. Tried a header that went a little high and left. Theobald was there to watch it. That was the play that the Wildcats scored on. So Baker with possession. Send it back into, Plowman sends it all the way back to Sanchez, and she'll send it toward the Viking bench and out of bounds. So a throw in coming there for Pickering. Pickering will send it in, knocked away by Valley, back to midfield. As Baker tried to control it, now Riley Kerr has a foot on it. She'll bring it back to the middle, send it left side for Pizzini. She loses handle on it. Sent all the way down, chested by one of the Baker gals. I believe that was Leslie Johnson, the defender. And they send it all the way in. Sanchez comes out to gather it up. And she kicks this one. It doesn't get to the 40-yard line of football. Vikings trying to work their right side, try to keep it in, and they do. But now it's sent out by one of the Wildcats on that far side. Doubleheader tonight. After Saturday's tripleheader, it seemed like a breeze tonight, won't it? Just doing a couple games.
It will be. Too bad it's just not the one game, though.
Yeah. We'll do them both tonight. Then we're going to have
we got football against Saturdays.
Football Saturday, and then next week we have, is it next week or week after volleyball? But next week we may kind of have a quiet week, right?
I know we're doing 3 volleyball games, so there might be
I think that's
one.
a week after next. I'm not sure. A lot
might
coming
have
up.
1 next week and 2 the following
week. A lot going on.
Too far away to
pick. A lot going on. We take it a day at a time. Here's Riley Kerr. Try to weave her way to the right side through the defense. Now sends it into the corner that way to Panuna. Panuna trying to get it to Garcia. Panuna gets a foot on it and sends it back out toward Dean. Dean can't come up with it as the Wildcats send it out on the far side. So a throw in coming here for Valley. They toss it in. And they send it right back out. 28 minutes to go, first half. 1-0 Baker with the lead, and that goal came in the first 2 minutes. Here's another throw in. Riley Kerr sends it in the corner, but Baker there. Vikings trying to get something into the middle here. Here's a shot. Knocked away by the Wildcats. They'll send it high to the air. Clamors gives chase to it. So does Martine. Now they send it to Heave on the left side, and she can't come up with it. So throw in for the Wildcats. Into Heave. Trying to get it to Clamors. Knocked away from Clamors by Mock. On the left side, Heave sends it in. A couple of defenders back there as Lafuentes fights for possession. But the Baker defense doing a pretty good job. Now Pizzini gives it off to Panuna. Now they'll send it in, trying to get to Riley Kerr. Kerr gets a left foot on it, but really couldn't do anything with it and sends it out way wide left. 27 minutes, first half. Men's game ought to be pretty interesting. These two teams respect each other, and they really will go at each other too. So it could be a heck of a game tonight.
Yeah, once again, it's battle of top 25 teams. Seems like we've had nothing but those with this men's team lately.
Latest poll came out not long ago. In fact, just a couple of hours ago, and I made a copy of that. If I can throw it in my stack here, if I can find it. Have the football poll, but I think the men and Baker are both in. Do you have it there? The men and Baker. Here it is, right here.
Viking men are number 6, and the Baker men are number 16.
Yeah. The soccer team moved up a bit. Of course, remember, a week ago tonight, they defeated number 4, Oklahoma Wesleyan. Vikings moved up 2 spots to number 6, the highest ranking for the team in program history. Matching a ranking the program reached at the end of 2011. Defeated Oklahoma Wesleyan, and then played Mid-American Nazarene to a 3-3 tie on Saturday. Vikings host Baker tonight, and Saturday travel to Culver. That will wrap up conference for both. Other MVC opponents that are ranked: number 2 Grandview, number 4 Benedictine, number 13 Wayland Baptist, Columbia College in the others receiving votes category. And the women move back into the others receiving votes category in this week's soccer poll as well, so they're getting some national recognition.
Yeah, remember that 3-3 tie on Saturday night? They had to score in the last 2 minutes just to take that to overtime, so they could have. They would have lost that game. They probably would have been nowhere. They probably just would have stayed the same at 8.
Now the Vikings too. The men will need some help to get a home game in the playoffs. The women can control their own destiny, but they're trailing here 1-0 as you're watching play on Greg Mitchell Field. Pizzini with control of it. Gives it off to Clamors. Clamors tries to get by one of the Baker Wildcats, splits the double team, and sends it off to Pizzini. Pizzini hits the deck. Battle for possession on the far side. Looks like Dean has it for the Vikings. Remember, Valley playing without their 2 leading goal scorers. Haley Ennis, who injured a knee in the game against Oklahoma Wesleyan last Tuesday night. And then Breanne Kenworth has been bothered by, I believe it's a quad problem. Played the other night, but out tonight. So they're 2 leading goal scorers out of the game.
Yes, Kenworthy sat out last Tuesday, but came back Saturday and sitting out again. So,
as I mentioned, Ennis hurt that knee on last Tuesday. Well, 24 minutes to go in the first half. 1-0 Baker. They scored in the first 2 minutes. Here's Theobald. Sends it to midfield. You can tell the difference of that win. Her her kick got all the way to midfield.
Yeah, and Sanchez is only getting about halfway.
Yep.
Plus hers is hooking towards the sidelines and giving Baker some throw-ins also on that.
Well, the ball goes out on the far side. And it'll be handled by the Wildcats. Well, the Vikings would like to tie this thing up. Here's Martine. There's action taking place in the Viking end right now. Riley Kerr to midfield to Garcia. Now back it comes to Hooper. She of the lone goal of this contest. Clambers up the right side. Will push it. Send it deep. Ooh, trying to get it through there, but it goes all the way back to Theobald.
Yeah, I believe that was Panuna on that far side.
I think it was
just
too.
Went too far. Although she would have had 1-0 just with Theobald.
But it was too far, and it went all the way back to Theobald. So a throw in for Baker. 22 minutes to go in the first half. And here is the throw. Vikings trying to control it. Two of the gals both go after it. Now Baker trying to center one. Knocked away by one of the Vikings. The ball still loose, however, out front. And the Wildcats doing a good job of keeping possession. Sending it back in is Schiraldi. Now Riley Kerr. That left side turns. And weaves it way back to the middle. Pizzini working against one of the Wildcats along with LaFuentes. Now they'll send it in. Riley Kerr trying to give chase. Here's Garcia. Sends it in wide right. She was about 30 yards out, and she sent that one in wide right. I would think it'd be very difficult to even get a goal unless you're very close when you go into the north with a strong wind tonight.
It's probably going to be one of those things that's a save, but you get a rebound and just bouncing around.
And those clouds coming in from the northwest look rather ominous. Clambers, midfield, knocks it out. We're down to 21 minutes in the first half. Peeb, one of the seniors on this club. Clambers, of course, also a senior. Oh, I take that back. Clambers is not a senior. She's a junior. I was thinking if she was one of the seniors. Been around 3 years now. All right, still 1-0. Long pass in, and you can again see the effects of that wind. As the wind really took that one, sends it all the way to Sanchez. Sanchez in goal will send it. That ball just dies at about the 35-yard line. But the Vikings do have control. Pushed up left side. Kerr trying to use that speed to get to it. But Baker's there defensively to take it away. And the Wildcats have played a pretty good defensive match so far here in the first half. Now this one goes up the left side. Going to be chased by Plowman. We're at the 20-minute mark of the first half, and it is a 1-0 lead for Baker. Couple of players coming in for the Wildcats. In is Shaylin Eldridge McMillan. And also, I believe that was Allison Haddad, who came in, midfielder out of Olathe. Yep, she did come in, and she gets a header right off the bat. All at midfield. Fight for possession there. Now let's send into the Baker end. Garcia giving chase, wants to go one-on-one with it, but she can't get there in time. There's a defender right with her, and that goes out. Under 20 minutes to go, first half. We're 1-0. Baker with it. James will have the second half for us. I think you're right, James. I think that second half, well, we'll see what happens here, but I think that second half obviously will be important if you're down by one, but have that wind at your back would be a big, big factor in this match tonight.
And if you're Baker, you're hoping to get a second one to have more comfortable of a lead.
I agree. They'd love to have one more. This one's sent out right north of the Viking bench. Vikes will have a throw in there. He will do that. Drew Hawkins pacing in front of the bench, takes a peek up at the clock. 18:37 first half, 1-0 Baker.
Yeah, the Vikings have scored 30 goals in the year, so you got to think they're capable of scoring 2.5, especially with the win at the back.
Now it's sent out, and it'll be Viking possession. Here's the throw in. Kidd's going to check in for Valley. Cecily Kidd, one of the seniors, number 14. Well, let's see if we can tie this thing up. Wildcats send it to midfield. Vikings headed back in. Glad you can be with us, whether you're rooting for the Vikings or the Wildcats on live stream tonight. Vikings working for possession. Send it up left side to Kerr. She does have some speed. Let's see if she can get by that defender. She can't, but she sends it to the middle of Garcia. Bounces it off the knee of one of the Wildcats. Gets it back, fires a shot, but that'll go wide left. And with 17:25 to go, the Wildcats will have possession.
This kid is going to kick in. Looks like it's Riley Kerr kicking out.
Sends this one about to the 40-yard line. Send all the way back for Sanchez. Plowman was there as well. But Sanchez grabs it. And very short boot on the right side. Kept in, though, by Valley. One-0 Baker with the lead. Here come the Wildcats. Try to send one through, and the pass was just in front of one of the Wildcats, and Garcia able to get there. That was a nice pass. And I'll tell you, just another foot or so, and Eldridge would have been there.
And
Eldridge McMillan.
Might have been able to put that one away pretty easily if that pass would have been there.
Yeah, just couldn't get him up with it, and that would have been one-on-one. 16 minutes, first half, 1-0. Nate Hauser coaches both of these clubs. Vikings will, the Wildcats will have the kick. Send it in, and it goes right to Sanchez. Sanchez catches that one on the fly. Young lady out of Spain. She says, get me in that second half when I can boom those things a little bit further.
Yeah, you could tell the wind helped out with that one. That was a pretty far boot that, if it was on net, could have gone in.
Here come the Vikings. Trying to send it up to midfield, but knocked away by Pickering. Now Baker, boy, they Clamor slides to keep that one alive. You're right. I think Baker thinking, boy, we'd like to get one more of that win with the aid of that win. Now Plowman mishandles it. Here come the Wildcats again. They've got a 2-on-3, but ball knocked away by Valley. Wildcats keep it in, however. And Wildcats trying to stay on side. I don't think they did.
Well, I believe that was actually a dangerous play as Headed kind of got her leg up high on Clamors.
So, Vikings, 14:30 to go, first half. Trying to get something going here offensively. McMillan sends it back in for the Wildcats, headed away by the Vikings. Off to Haddad. For the Vikings, it's Pozina. Ooh, sends it up the right side. Here comes Valley, 2-on-1, looking for a pass into Kidd and can't get it to her. Kidd had that left arm raised. She said, hey, I'm over here, get it to me. And couldn't squeeze that pass to the defense.
Yeah, I didn't see who it was, but it was a great hustle by the Wildcats defense to come back. Otherwise, Panuna would have been able to get that free pass over there.
Now the ball headed out by Wildcat saved by Valley. They try to work it inside to Pizzini. Knocked away, but back to Hebe. Hebe, one of the seniors on this club, goes to Garcia. Garcia turns, nice footwork, and will hand it off. Now Valley looking to get to the left side, and they do to Hebe. Hebe has it in the corner, tries to send one through, and it's blocked by Pickering, I believe. One of the Wildcats there with a block. It was Pickering.
As Hebe scored her first college goal Saturday night, now she's going in the rush quite often.
1-0 was the final score, her first college goal. Corner kick coming for Valley. And that's going to be Garcia with the right foot. And she'll send it in. In front, blocked by Pickering. And Pickering comes out of there with it, sends it down the sideline, but the Wildcats can't save it right in front of their own bench. So a throw in coming for Hebe.
It actually looked like Garcia actually slipped after she played that ball in, so that the field might be a little slick from that quick rain we had.
Clammers. Of course, we have the turf here, the field turf, but that was quite a shower, and it's building up again, it looks like, to the north of us. We'll see if hopefully that'll stay away. Wind hasn't died down much. Now Hebe, as they tried to pass it all the way across the field to McMillan, he was able to step in front of that. Now to Garcia. Garcia left side will hold and center it, looking for a attempt, and it was headed, but it's going to be wide to the left.
Great opportunity there by the Vikings, and Panuna just sent that header wide.
Yeah, was that Panuna or Lafuentes? Let's see.
It might have been Lafuentes.
I think it was Lafuentes. Her header went wide. That was a good opportunity, though. So, with 11:50 to go in the first half, 1-0 Baker. And the Wildcats knock it out, I believe. The Vikings will have possession. Not bad in here, out of the wind. The wind is what's really rough out there right now. We have both of our cameras enclosed tonight because of the possibility of rain. I'm sure our camera crew doesn't mind that. Here's Kidd, sends it, or rather, Martine sends it in. Off to Pizzini. Now to Kidd. Kidd stops, trying to use her speed to get something going. Slides after it, can't get it. Vikings, though, do keep it in. And once again, it is Pizzini. Back to Garcia. Garcia dribbling with the right foot. Back to Clammers. Clammers wants to set it up and looks to go to Hebe on the left side. Hebe back to the middle, headed away by the defenders. Baker with that 1-goal lead. McMillan back to Clammers. Clammers sends it to the middle, but Martine can't catch up with it. Now it's headed away by Pizzini. Kidd gives chase, trying to take it away from Pickering. A lot of action here in the last couple of minutes in the Baker zone, but Vikings very little to show for it. Well, the ball goes out. Be a throw in for Baker. 1-0, Baker with a lead. And that goal came in the first 2 minutes. We hadn't even given you the starting lineups. So, and a cold, windy night. Play continues, and looks like Hussman's going to come in. Colleen, one of the seniors on this squad, and she can't wait to get in. She's standing there. It's pretty cold, probably standing there. It won't be bad once you get out and run around the field, but right now a little bit chilly standing there waiting to come in, and here she comes.
Especially when you're all bundled up on that bench. And then
yeah, nice and warm on that sideline, and then all of a sudden you have to come on in. So Colleen Hussman will check in. Colleen, one of the seniors, and Martine comes out. Garcia with the left foot tries to send it up. And Baker trying to keep it in. And they do. Now on that far side, Garcia gets a foot on it and races up the sideline. She has Kidd to the left, stays on side, but they can't get her to the ball. Now here's a centering shot. Kidd waiting back, but it's knocked away by Baker. 9 minutes to go, first half. 1-0. Baker with the lead. We'll take a break at the half. James will have the second half call for you. Then we'll have the men's contest as well, and that should be a good one between these two teams. A Viking throw in on the far side. Good job keeping that one alive. Now it goes out. Who was that? Garcia. Wow, she was lying on the turf and still controlled it. So another throw, and it goes to Clammers from Dean, back to Dean. Dean sends it in. It's headed away by Schiraldi. And Baker on the attack now at midfield. They go to their right side, trying to get it to Pickering. Pickering can't chase it down. That's knocked away, and it'll be Viking possession. 7:58.
Now Avery Nolan will check in for Pizzini.
So here's the throw in as Pizzini takes a seat. Now the Clammers. Well, the Vikings' two leading goal scorers are out, James, and tough to find that offense. They have, I believe, the two of them, 11 of the goals or something like that.
Yeah, they had 11 of those goals. And the next leading goal scorer is Riley Kerr, who has only started in half the games that she's appeared in.
Now Drew going to his bench as Serena Owens ready to come in, young lady from Littleton, Colorado. Well, she's just outside Littleton, told me, but Littleton would be the address for the young lady, freshman, mass comm major. But tonight she's ready to come in the final few minutes of this first half, trying to get something going for Valley. Serena forward. 6:39 to go, first half, 1-0 Baker. On livestream.com. Again, we will have take a little break, have the second half for you. Vikings will have that strong breeze at their back in the second half, which hopefully will be an aid for them. But give this Baker team credit. They've played really pretty well defensively.
They have. And I believe in Drew Hawkins probably like just being down 1-0 with how heavy this wind is. And then you can have it at your back to at least try to get one and take this to overtime.
But at least keep it 1-0 here.
You still got 6 minutes to do that.
Baker's going to bring in a couple of gals, like Madison Armanoy from Fenton, Missouri, ready to come in. Vikings have possession in their own end. Garcia sends it to the right side. Headed away, but she'll get it right back. Good footwork. Look at those gals down there waiting to come in. They're going, come on, let's go. I'm going to stand here so long. And here comes Owens will check in. Armanoy comes in. And also, Jessica Hilbert, Topeka, Kansas, comes in. 4:50. In the first half. La Fuentes gets a breather. Clammers, who usually plays most minutes of each match. Vikings send it in, trying to get it to Kidd, and she can't get there. Theobald reached her to that one by about a step and a half.
Yeah, another ball that's just out of the reach of one of the forwards. It's for both sides. It's been that way.
So Baker trying to keep it trying to get something else going offensively with 4 minutes to go in the half. Now Garcia sends it in deep for Kidd. Kidd almost got a foot on it. It's a foot race for it. And coming out is Theobald. Kidd just could not control it. She was there, got a foot on it, but just couldn't control it enough to get off a shot.
Yeah, settled down, but then Baker defenders come over, knock it away, and eventually it finds its way back to Theobald.
So Theobald sends it into the Viking end. Battle for on the far side over there. And that's Serena Owens. If you're watching on the live stream, she's as far away from our cameras as she can get. Baker possession. 3 minutes to go in the first half. And they have a 1-goal lead. Vikings trying to work it up that far side. Dean, double team. Gives it back to Plowman. Plowman to Dean. Now ahead to Owens. Owens will send it up the left side to Vikings have a 3-on-2, now 3-on-3. As they try to use their speed to get something going around the corner, they do the right side. And here is a pass to the middle. Kidd's not there. Clammers hustles after it, trying to keep it alive, and then knocks it out. 2:27. Sweet to tie this thing up. This pass upfield goes out at the Baker bench. .206 to go. Until halftime, we'll take a break at the half and then come back with the second half for you. But right now it is a 1-0 match, and this first half moved by rather quickly. Here's Plowman. Plowman, middle of the field, tries to send it deep. Right side, knocked away by Baker. Back to Plowman. She'll head it back into Baker territory to Clammers. Clammers can't hang on to it, and it's Schiraldi. Now the Vikings regroup. Plowman sends it back in. Knocked away again by Baker. 1:29 to go in the half. Send that one up to the Vikings. Go straight up in the air. Kidd fighting for possession of it. Ooh, she's knocked down, and the Vikings are going to get possession. Crowd oohed and awed, and the official agreed with him. Here's Garcia with a minute to go. Garcia, young lady out of Toledo, Spain, sends it in, and that one sails over the head of one of the Vikings. Was that Serena back there? I don't think that was Serena. But it went over her head. That may have been Hussman. It was Colleen.
It wasn't a bad ball there by Garcia, just kind of misread by those Vikings up front.
Now at midfield with under 30 seconds to go, Garcia hits. Oh, wow, she puts that one right off of one of the Baker Wildcats, and then that ball may have come back and hit her in the face. I think that's what happened. She tried to send it in and hit one of the gals on the shoulder, and then came right back and hit her in the face. 14.6 seconds to go in the first half. It's 1-0 Baker. Garcia's up. Only 14 seconds remaining in the half. Be a throw in for the Wildcats. Well, they've got to feel pretty good about their first half. Scored that first 2 goals and then played a lot of good defense.
They didn't. Vikings really did not have many great opportunities. All the opportunities went well wide. All the saves that Theobald made were pretty easy ones.
Now the Wildcats send it all the way back to Sanchez, and she'll just hold on to it. And she'll send it toward midfield, and that's the end of the first half. 1-0, Baker with the lead. Glad you can be with us on live stream. We'll take a break. We'll be back for the second half. James will call it for you. We'll be back in about 15 minutes.